Okay, so we're doing the end of chapter 9, and we're speaking that the Kedusha on page 28 of the Nefesh Elokis, right? The Nefesh Bahamas eventually got transformed into good from the water, the holy, we said, the Chinas Mayim Sheva Nefesh Bahamas. And it used to be a level where it was craving Olam Hazeh, worldly things, in the beginning. And he brings the Eitz Chaim, it's a famous book on Kabbalah, Sharnun, Perikimel, B'Shem Zohar, the name of the Zohar, Shehara, that the evil is Nepach L'Yeshteiv. It gets transformed to be good. You could have a person with temptations towards evil, and the same crave that he had towards something which is not good, he could use that same crave to do something which is good. In other words, a person has the ability to change a lust for not holy things to Kedusha. The same way you have a temptation towards something you shouldn't have, imagine you have that same burning and love and temptation towards something you should have. How do you do that? The Sarba God, the person removes the garments, the filthy garments, which are pleasures in this world. As long as the person is involved in having pleasures in this world, and when I say pleasures, I mean pleasures for the sake of himself. We're not talking about serving Hashem. Obviously, a person's allowed to eat, sleep, drink, they're allowed to exercise, whatever, do things which are for the sake of God. But a person who's doing it just for the sake because he likes physical pleasures and temptations, he's going to be a coarse person. He's not going to be, physicality and spirituality are really the opposite. So if he's putting his whole essence into physicality game, he's going to be losing a lot spiritually. So therefore, when a person removes these garments which crave physicality, he's interested in them, and also the rest of the midas in the heart, which are the offshoots of fear, of Yahav and love, they should be for God. What do you mean the rest of the midas? And generally, I think we've spoken about this in class before. There are two midas. What are two midas? Two expressions that a person can have in the soul. What are the two feelings that you could have? In other words, you have intellect, and then eventually you have emotions. What are the two emotions a person could have? Love is correct, and fear, correct. What are other ways of saying love and fear? Attraction, rejection, a longing, a drawing, wanting to come close, a distance. All the other midas, we're going to learn that there are 7, are offshoots of these initial 2, or a combination. So the first midah is chesed, and then that's again a love of a longing, attraction. Gvura is a rejection. Tiferes would be a combination of the 2. In other words, if a person is always about giving, nice, attraction, everything's kind, that's not always the best thing. What if a person is always about gvura? No, reject, no. That's also not the best thing. You need to have a combination of both. Give you an example. Let's say there's a drug addict or an alcoholic, and every single day on your way to work, you pass this guy, and he's like, money, I want money, give me $20. And every single day, you give the guy money, and what does he do? He takes the money, and he buys drugs and alcohol, and just gets on the same thing, repeats the whole thing. So every time you give, are you really helping the guy? No. But what if every single time you pass him, you're saying, no, it's not, it's also not helping him. It's too much giving or too much rejection is not the ultimate result. What do you need? You need a combination. If a person really cares about a guy, because you know what? I want to give, but I want to give in a way of restraining. So therefore, I'm going to give, but you know what I'm going to do? Instead of giving you $20 a day, I'm going to find out how much a drug rehab center costs, how much counseling costs, how can I get you, I'll give my time, or maybe there's government programs. Let's find a place for you, and you'll get help, and you'll get counseling, you'll get people who are experts in overcoming the addiction, whatever it may be. And through a lot of hard work, I'll help you. I'll try to be there for you. I'll try to, that way you're giving a guy something, you're giving, but you're not giving him in an irresponsible way. Because if you just give him to feed the habit, you're hurting him. If you just say no, you're also not helping. So what do? You do a combination. I'll give, but I'll restrain at the same time. What's that called in Chassidus? Tiferes. That's a combination of Chesed and Gvura coming together. Chesed is I want to be attracted. I want to give. I want to do something, but I also want to hold back. The three bottoms you have are Netzach or Yisoid are offshoots of the ones on the top. Chesed, Tiferes, Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes. Netzach is an offshoot of Chesed. It's taking my plan of kindness and longing and attraction and bringing it to practicality. Gvura is an offshoot. Hoid is an offshoot of Gvura, where I'm taking my idea of rejecting and putting it into a practical way how I'm going to do it. And Yesoid is an offshoot of Tiferes. So when a person uses these midos, they're obviously in a godly way. They're doing the perfect combination of Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes, or the offshoots of how to bring in practicality to make sure they're for a divine reason. And Malchus is the bottom one, which contains all the spheres above. Again, I need more time to speak about it, but it's the sphere which contains everything above and eventually brings what you had into either an action, into a speech. It brings it actually out towards other people. Malchus is the word in Hebrew for melech, kingdomship, which said there's no king without a nation, without others. So it's the sphere inside the soul which wants to have a relationship with others, which again, we need more time. But back to what we were saying before, this person is making sure that the Yira and the Ava Hashem are completely to him, are completely to God, and all the power, called the power in his mouth, the machshava in his thought, in his brain, it should be filled, it should be completely filled with the thought, speech, and of godly things from this godly soul, Levada. Shen machshav Hashem, that's thoughts of Hashem, v'teiraso in his Torah, v'yasichasoi kol yom, that he should be speaking the whole day. Lepasik pumigirsi, he should not stop speaking. V'chol ha'maisa shebedayim, and the power of action in his hands, v'shara machivaru, and the rest of the 248 limbs that he has, yibemaisa mitzvahs levad, should be in the action of mitzvahs. Shulavush Shlishi, which is the third garment, Shal Nefesh Elokis. And Acha Nefesh Bahamas, we're leaving off with this. What about the animal soul? Shemeklipa, which is from the Klipa, which is from this level, which hides and conceals on truth and godliness. Ritzoin Lapach, he wants the opposite, Mamash, literally. Lotoiva Antam. The Nefesh Bahamas wants completely opposite. He just wants what's good, what feels good for me. She's Gabra Leah. Now, what does he want? That it should overpower him. And it's Chena. Be victorious. Like the example of there's a prostitute in the Zohar Kodesh. What's this example? Hashem created Nefesh Bahamas, an animal soul, which is where the Yitzhar is rooted. The Zohar tells a story that there was a prostitute, and the prostitute was hired by the son. Was hired by the father. Why did the father hire this lady? He wanted to see if his son is faithful and loyal. So he paid this lady money to seduce the son. What did the father really want? Did he want that the son should sin? Or did he want the son should say no? Say no. But at the same time he's paying and he's directing this prostitute to seduce the son. So too, the Zohar gives this example, this parable, that Hashem put inside of us an nefesh elokis, a godly soul. He wants that we should be doing the correct thing. He wants that we should be using our brain, using our heart, using our hands, using our feet. Everything should be completely for Hashem. We should be talking godly things, speaking Torah, speaking good things, overpowering, using the Gvura to push away negativity and the Chesed to attract the godly things, and making sure what we think, what we speak, what we do is godly. At the same time, he put inside a nefesh Bahamas, an animal soul, a Yitzhar. Why? He put it inside so we should beat it. If everything is good, right? Does good exist or not? If everything is good in life, everything is good, huh? No. Why not?
Because good is... Because it sounds like normal. has to be an opposition to something.
There has to be an opposition. Then when there's an opposition, then what do you have? A couple things. When there's an opposition to...
You have a choice.
You have choice. And you have something called in Hebrew avodah. What's avodah mean? Work. Service. When everything is only good, there's no choice and there's no work. Work, or the choice to choose something, is a gift. If everything, give me a second, is free, you think a guy who wakes up every single day, like sometimes you could have people with rich parents, and there's no responsibility to work. They don't have to make good choices. Sometimes they could wake up as late as they want. They could play video games. I know people like that. I've met people like this before.
I lived 24 years like that.
Okay. I wasn't speaking about anybody. I had no idea. I really didn't. But I've met people, and everything was provided for them. Rent, food, utilities, clothing, shelter, entertainment. And there was no need for them to choose to work on themselves. Everything was just free, and there was no avodah, there was no responsibility. So they could wake up whenever they want and play games and go to sleep or whatever they want, and everything is just provided without any service, without any need to achieve. So you think these people are happy? Then you have other people with situations where if they're not going to work, if they're not going to get up, if they're not going to have a schedule, if they're not going to maintain a job, if they're not going to, choose between wasting time or productivity, they're not going to have these basic necessities. They're not going to have their food. They're not going to have their shelter. They're not going to. So therefore, they have to work. But when they're successful and they achieve and they can get themselves out of it, then you can't compare, the satisfaction, the happiness, the purpose, the quality of life that the people have who work and are successful. So how does avodah come? How does work come? How does choice come when there's resistance? When things aren't free? If everything was just godliness revealed, there would be no avodah, no choice. Yes, you had a question.
Well, Mashiach comes, not that there's not going to be avodah.
And it says there's going to be a different type of avodah. There's going to be a different type.
In Ein Seif, there's no level to the.
There's going to be a different type. So first of all, it says in Sfarim that we're going to be the avodah that we had in Galus. The chance that we had to be in a world where godliness is not revealed and still choose the right thing. We're going to miss that. That's not.
The whole concept of a mitzvah will change.
Yeah.
So now a mitzvah connects you to Hashem in a place where you can choose, heaven forbid, to not be connected. But in the world to come, we're all connected to Hashem anyway, so mitzvah is an added connection. It won't be the same as now. So we
are going to miss that. But if I could add to what you're saying, the Rambam says that when Mashiach comes, the goal is going to be to pursue godliness, to pursue. So we are going to be working to know more, and learn about Hashem on a deeper level daily. But still, we're going to be jealous that we don't have that same level of choice in avodah that we had in Galus. Okay, that concludes Perek Tes. That concludes chapter 9. God willing, we'll move on to the next class or next year. Our friend the Tzaddik, which is Yud, Perek Yud. If anyone wants to learn the chapter about how to become a Tzaddik or what a Tzaddik is, we will get to that in the coming classes. Have a wonderful davening.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.